BrahMos Philippines is no longer just receiving hardware. It is approaching the moment when 3 coastal defense batteries can become one organized deterrent force. That shift matters because the Philippines remains exposed along thousands of kilometers of coastline, while pressure in the West Philippine Sea has repeatedly tested its ability to protect vessels, outposts, and sea lanes without relying entirely on allied forces. The central question is simple. Can one final delivery turn a limited missile purchase into a credible operational network? The program began with a government-to-government agreement signed in January 2022. Manila committed $374,962,800 United States dollars for 3 BrahMos shore-based anti-ship missile batteries, training, launch vehicles, command equipment, radar support, and integrated logistics. It was also the first export order for the Indian-Russian BrahMos system. The first batch arrived in April 2024. The second battery was delivered to the Philippines in April 2025. By November 2025, the Philippine Marine Corps publicly displayed its first operationally organized BrahMos battery in western Luzon under the Coastal Defense Regiment. That battery matters because BrahMos is not a symbolic patrol weapon. The export configuration is widely reported with a range of about 290 kilometers and a speed of approximately Mach 2.8. From suitable positions in western Luzon, that range can place important maritime approaches within a serious coastal defense envelope. But the final battery changes the force structure more than the raw missile count. With 3 batteries, commanders can theoretically keep 1 unit deployed, 1 moving or training, and 1 undergoing maintenance or held in reserve. That creates rotation, uncertainty, and greater survivability. The missiles were purchased years ago. The deterrent begins when the force can sustain operations. Before we go on, do you think 3 batteries are enough to change the regional calculation? Subscribe for the next part. And tell me where you are watching from. The real transformation begins after the equipment arrives. A missile battery sitting in storage changes very little. A missile battery integrated into a national defense network changes the calculations of every commander operating nearby. BrahMos is widely reported to reach a speed of approximately Mach 2.8, with an export range of approximately 290 kilometers. Those numbers are impressive, but by themselves they do not explain its strategic value. Speed reduces the time available for detection and response. Range expands the area that must be monitored. Yet neither advantage matters without accurate target information. That is why leading global defense analysts argue that the true strength of the system depends on the complete targeting chain rather than the missile alone. Coastal radar is limited by the curvature of the Earth, meaning a launcher cannot simply detect and engage every vessel at its maximum published range. Long-distance targeting requires information from multiple sources such as maritime patrol aircraft, unmanned aerial systems, coastal surveillance networks, or trusted intelligence partners. This explains why the armed forces of the Philippines have increasingly emphasized the comprehensive archipelagic defense concept. During Balikatan in April 2026, the Philippine military announced that BrahMos would participate in a simulated missile employment scenario rather than a live firing exercise. That event demonstrated that the priority had shifted from purchasing equipment to practicing command, coordination, and targeting procedures across multiple services. The organization of 3 batteries also creates operational flexibility. On paper, one battery can remain available for immediate readiness, while another conducts training and a third undergoes maintenance or relocation. Leading global defense analysts argue that this rotational model increases survivability because potential launch locations become less predictable over time. Equally important, BrahMos should not be viewed as an invulnerable weapon. Modern naval forces employ layered air defense, electronic warfare, decoys, and intelligence assets to reduce missile threats. For that reason, the effectiveness of the Philippine force will depend not only on missile performance, but also on mobility, concealment, communication security, and the ability to receive reliable targeting data under demanding operational conditions. That is why the most valuable capability is not simply a missile traveling at nearly 3 times the speed of sound. It is the growing ability to connect sensors, commanders, and launch units into one coordinated coastal defense system. What happens inside the Philippines is only part of the story. The larger impact is how neighboring countries and major military planners now have to reassess their operational assumptions once a credible coastal missile force becomes available. For Manila, the objective is not to match the size of a much larger navy. The objective is to increase the potential cost of operating close to Philippine territory during a high-intensity crisis. That approach aligns with the comprehensive archipelagic defense concept, which shifts the armed forces of the Philippines from decades of internal security operations toward protecting the nation across its maritime domain. India also gains an important strategic advantage. The agreement signed in January 2022 marked the first international export of the BrahMos missile system. Since the first delivery arrived in April 2024, the program has become a demonstration that India can supply advanced coastal defense capabilities to partners throughout the Indo Pacific. Leading global defense analysts argue that successful operational integration in the Philippines could strengthen confidence among other potential international customers, although no future purchases by other governments should be assumed unless officially announced. For the United States, the development complements an existing network of security cooperation rather than replacing it. During recent Balikatan exercises, both countries have expanded cooperation in maritime surveillance, command coordination, and joint operational planning. On paper, a more capable Philippine coastal defense force can strengthen regional resilience by adding another layer to existing defensive planning, while all operational decisions remain under Philippine authority. Leading global defense analysts also argue that Chinese military planners must now account for a different operational environment. This does not mean 3 missile batteries fundamentally change the regional balance of military power. However, planners may need to dedicate additional intelligence, surveillance, reconnaissance, electronic warfare, and maritime monitoring resources to locate mobile launch units before any potential crisis develops. That increases operational complexity, planning time, and resource requirements even if the missiles are never launched. In the end, the greatest strategic effect may come from uncertainty itself. A mobile coastal defense force that can relocate, rotate, and remain difficult to predict changes military planning long before any confrontation begins. That shift in strategic calculation is becoming one of the most significant outcomes of the entire modernization program. Looking ahead, the next stage will be more important than the deliveries themselves. Publicly available information confirms that the Philippine Marine Corps has already organized dedicated coastal defense units around the BrahMos system, while recent Balikatan exercises have focused on integrating sensors, command networks, and coordinated maritime operations. Those developments indicate that the modernization effort is moving beyond procurement and toward operational readiness. Even so, important challenges remain. A missile with a published range of approximately 290 kilometers and a speed of approximately Mach 2.8 cannot achieve its full potential without reliable intelligence, surveillance, reconnaissance, and secure communications. Defense specialists consistently note that long-range coastal defense depends on finding, identifying, and tracking maritime targets before any launch decision can be made. That means radar coverage, unmanned aerial systems, maritime patrol aircraft, logistics, and communication security are just as important as the missile itself. Another factor often overlooked is sustainability. Public sources confirm the value of the original contract at approximately $374,962,800 United States dollars, but they do not disclose the total missile inventory, reserve stock, or long-term replenishment plans. Those details remain critical because endurance is measured not only by launchers, but also by training, maintenance, supply chains, and the ability to keep the force operational over time. For the wider Indo Pacific region, the broader lesson is becoming increasingly clear. Many middle powers are no longer attempting to match larger militaries ship for ship or aircraft for aircraft. Instead, they are investing in mobile, networked, and precision defensive capabilities that raise the potential cost of coercion without seeking numerical superiority. Leading global defense analysts argue that this trend is likely to shape regional military planning throughout the coming decade. In the end, the most significant achievement is not the arrival of another shipment. It is the transition from owning advanced equipment to building a credible and integrated coastal defense capability. That transformation reflects years of planning, investment, training, and strategic adaptation rather than a single delivery event. The real question is no longer whether this capability exists. The question is whether a smaller but better connected coastal defense force can influence strategic decisions before any confrontation ever begins. What do you think? Can a well-integrated coastal missile network change regional military planning, even without matching the size of a major navy? Share your thoughts in the comments.